Welcome to the front lines of retail madness, where the customer is always right, even when they are losing their mind. Today, we are counting down 55 of the most absurd, brain-melting, and flat-out hilarious complaints ever made to furniture stores. We are talking about people who think oak should be squishy and mattresses owe them a better social life. You will not believe the level of entitlement some folks bring into a sofa showroom. Let us get into the chaos. 1. One customer returned a rocking chair because it would occasionally rock on its own whenever the air conditioner kicked on. She was convinced it was a ghost trying to communicate and demanded the store pay for a psychic to clear her house. She refused to believe it was just a draft, claiming the chair had a mind of its own and was plotting against her cat. Some people live in a horror movie of their own making, and the furniture store is just a supporting character. 2. A lady bought a pristine white linen sofa and then called the store in a total rage because she spilled red wine on it and it stained. She insisted that for $5,000, the fabric should have a built-in force field that automatically repels liquids. She actually accused the store of setting her up for failure by selling her such a vulnerable color in the first place. It takes a special kind of confidence to blame a retail store for your own inability to hold a wine glass steady during a party. 3. Buying a king-size bed is a dream for many, but one customer tried to return his because he did not feel like a king while sleeping on it. He told the clerk with a completely straight face that the bed failed to provide the regal and authoritative aura he expected for his bedroom. He felt the mattress was too humble and did not command enough respect from his wife. It is a pile of foam and springs, sir, not a coronation ceremony. 4. There is nothing quite like the smell of a brand new leather sofa, unless you are the guy who filed a formal complaint because his high-end couch smelled like an animal. He called the manager crying that his living room now smelled like a rugged cowboy boot and demanded the store deodorize his entire house. Apparently, he thought top-grain leather was harvested from polyester plants in a lab. 5. Mirrors are meant to reflect reality, but one woman threatened a lawsuit because the wardrobe she bought allegedly used distortion technology to make her look 3 inches wider. She claimed the furniture store was body-shaming her through their glass manufacturing process. She did not want a replacement. She wanted a written apology from the CEO for the emotional trauma caused by her own reflection. Be honest. Have you ever blamed a piece of furniture for your own bad hair day or a few extra pounds? Tell me the most ridiculous thing you have ever blamed on an inanimate object. 6. Coffee tables are generally for books and remote controls, not for a full-grown man standing on them to change a light bulb. One guy sent a furious email with photos of his shattered glass table, calling it a death trap. He was outraged that the tempered glass did not hold his 200-pound frame. He actually argued that because it is called a table, it should function as a heavy-duty ladder in emergencies. The level of confidence some people have in half-inch glass is honestly terrifying and a bit impressive. 7. High-pile shag rugs are the ultimate in comfort, but one customer called them a mechanical death trap after her expensive robotic vacuum got stuck in the fibers. She demanded the rug company pay for the vacuum motor repair, claiming the carpet was predatory toward household electronics. She honestly expected the rug to have a compatibility list for every vacuum brand on the market. Do you think it is fair to blame a carpet for being too fluffy? Or should people just check the pile height before letting a robot loose? Let me know if your vacuum has ever been defeated by a rug. 8. Outdoor furniture is built to survive the elements, but not a total lack of common sense. A customer in Arizona complained that her black metal patio chairs got too hot when left in the direct 110-degree sun. She called it a product defect and demanded a refund because the chairs burned her hamstrings. She was genuinely shocked that metal absorbs heat in the desert. At what point do we stop blaming the store and start blaming the sun for doing its job? It is a chair, not a refrigerated throne. 9. Imagine using a dining table for 3 years, posting every Thanksgiving, and then trying to return it because you decided the wood grain was distracting. One couple actually tried this, claiming the patterns caused their guests to lose their appetite over the years. They did not have a receipt, the table was covered in wine stains, and they still expected a full cash refund. The audacity of treating a furniture store like a free rental service for half a decade is peak entitlement that most of us could never imagine. 10. Mattress stores have seen it all, but the lost spark complaint is a legend. A couple tried to return a mattress after 14 months because they felt it no longer provided the romantic energy they experienced in the showroom. They literally told the manager the bed was boring and was responsible for their lack of sleep and their failing marital spark. Is it fair for customers to treat a mattress like a relationship counselor? Or should stores start charging a stupidity tax for returns like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. 11. A man bought a solid mahogany wardrobe and then filed a formal complaint because he could not slide it across his plush carpet with one hand. He called the store manager an elitist for selling furniture that required more than one person to move. He genuinely expected a 6-foot-tall piece of solid wood to weigh the same as a cardboard box. Some people want the prestige of luxury materials without the burden of basic gravity. It is a wardrobe, sir, not a helium balloon, but try telling that to someone who skipped every physics class in school. 12. One woman demanded a refund for a power recliner because it was, in her words, dangerously comfortable. She fell asleep during a movie and missed a vital conference call, which led to a reprimand at work. She argued that the store should have a warning label stating that the chair causes unintended naps. Is it actually possible for furniture to be too good at its job? Or is this just a masterclass in shifting blame? Have you ever loved a piece of furniture so much it actually ruined your productivity? 13. Natural wood is beautiful because of its imperfections, but one customer did not get the memo. He returned a handcrafted oak table because it had knots in the grain, which he charmingly referred to as tree zits. He insisted the store had sold him a diseased product and demanded a pristine, plastic-looking surface despite paying a premium for 100% natural timber. If you want something that looks like it came out of a 3D printer, maybe do not shop at a high-end wood boutique. Some people really hate nature when it actually looks like nature. 14. We have all lost a remote in the couch, but one guy tried to sue a furniture outlet because his new sectional was allegedly stealing his loose change. He claimed the gaps between the cushions were a deliberate design flaw intended to enrich the company through forgotten nickels and dimes. He wanted a technician to come to his house and retrieve $3.40, plus a voucher for the emotional distress of losing his keys for 10 minutes. The level of conspiracy theories involving living room upholstery is truly next level. 15. Luxury rugs are supposed to be plush, but one buyer complained that her new shag carpet was a safety hazard because it was too soft. She claimed she felt like she was walking on a cloud, which made her dizzy and caused her to lose her balance. She actually asked if the store could shave the fibers down to make it more firm and less delightful. Do you think some people just enjoy complaining? Or could a rug actually be so fluffy it becomes a medical liability? Let me know if you would ever complain about a carpet being too cozy. 16. Buying a white velvet sofa when you have 3 golden retrievers and a toddler is a bold move. One mom did exactly that, and then called the store screaming 2 weeks later because the couch was no longer white. She claimed the fabric was magnetized to attract dirt and demanded a free professional cleaning every month for the life of the sofa. She refused to accept that her lifestyle was the problem, insisting the store sold her a defective, stain-loving product. Some people live in a complete state of denial about their own life choices. 17. A customer returned a high-end designer floor lamp because it would not turn on right out of the box. The manager opened the box and pointed out that there was no light bulb in the socket. The customer was outraged, claiming that for $300, the lamp should generate its own light through static energy or something equally impossible. She called the lack of a bulb a scam and a betrayal of trust. Apparently, basic household electronics remain a complete mystery to some folks with very deep pockets and zero common sense. 18. Measuring is a lost art, and this guy is the proof. A man bought a minimalist bookshelf and then sent a nasty email because his massive encyclopedia set did not fit on the narrow shelves. He blamed the store for not designing the unit to accommodate standard knowledge and demanded they custom build him a new one for free. He argued that, as a professional furniture store, they should have known exactly how many books he owned. It is amazing how people expect retailers to be psychic instead of just using a tape measure for 5 seconds. 19. You would think the name of the product would give it away, but one customer was furious that her new rocking chair moved back and forth. She claimed it was unstable and made her feel seasick while she was trying to knit. She demanded a repairman come out and fix the chair so it would stay perfectly still. When told that is what a regular chair does, she accused the salesperson of being condescending and rude. Should stores start putting "this product performs its named function" labels on everything? Tell me the most obvious thing you have ever seen someone fail to understand. 20. Modern desks are sleek, but they still need power to function. One tech enthusiast complained that his new floating desk did not actually hide his computer wires through thin air. He was under the impression that cable management meant the desk would wirelessly transmit electricity to his monitor through some kind of magic. He called the store a fraud because he could still see a black cord running down the wall. It is hard to tell if people are living in the year 3000 in their heads or if they just missed every basic science class. 21. A guy bought a premium marble dining table and then called to complain that it was too clanky when he set his silverware down. He actually suggested the store should have pre-coated the stone with a layer of silent rubber so he would not have to hear his fork touch the surface. He was genuinely offended that solid stone makes a noise when hit with metal. It is marble, sir. It is basically a fancy rock, not a soundproof recording studio. Some people expect the laws of physics to bend just because they spent $4,000 on a slab of earth. 22. We have all heard of measuring twice and cutting once, but this lady did not measure at all and then blamed the store when her new California king bed blocked her closet, her door, and half of her window. She claimed the bed was deceptive because it looked smaller in the massive, high-ceiling warehouse. She demanded the store pay for her to move to a larger apartment since the bed she chose was too big for her current life. Do you think stores should start requiring a license to use a tape measure before allowing a purchase? Let me know if you have ever had a measurement disaster. 23. Pet-friendly fabric is a great invention, but one owner took it way too far when he complained that his new sofa was covered in scratches. He admitted his 200-pound Great Dane used the cushions as a chew toy, but he argued that the pet-friendly label should mean it is indestructible against all animal life. He wanted a full refund because the couch did not have the durability of a military tank. It is fabric, not Kevlar, but some people really think a sales tag can override a bored dog with giant claws and zero respect for mid-century modern design. 24. One woman returned a high-end wall clock because the ticking sound was, in her words, an aggressive invasion of her mental privacy. She claimed the clock was judging her by counting down the seconds of her life and giving her a panic attack every hour. She did not want a silent version. She wanted the store to pay for her therapy session because the clock was too honest about the passage of time. Some people are truly out here fighting with inanimate objects over the existential dread of getting older. If a clock is your biggest enemy, your life is probably doing okay. 25. Swivel chairs are designed for mobility, but one customer filed a complaint because the chair would not stop moving when she sat in it. She was outraged that it spun around when she pushed off the floor and claimed it was a malfunctioning safety hazard. She actually wanted the store to send a mechanic to weld the chair into a stationary position for free. Have you ever encountered someone who bought a specialized product and then got mad that it actually performed its one unique function? Let me know the dumbest thing you have seen someone get confused by in the comments. 26. Rustic furniture is meant to look a bit rough, but one guy had a total meltdown because his reclaimed wood coffee table had a tiny splinter on the underside. He claimed the table was an assassination attempt by the store and demanded a full replacement plus a box of designer bandages. He bought a table made from an old barn door and then acted shocked that it felt like wood. If you want a smooth, sterile environment, maybe do not buy furniture that was literally a fence in its previous life. It is nature, not a polished iPhone screen. 27. A woman bought a distressed dresser that was intentionally painted to look like a vintage antique from the 1920s. 2 days later, she was at the store, screaming that the paint was peeling and the wood looked old. She refused to listen when the manager explained that she literally paid extra for that specific look. She called it a scam and insisted on a brand new, shiny plastic unit instead. It is amazing how people will pay for a specific aesthetic and then complain when they actually receive the aesthetic they paid for. Common sense is clearly not included in the price tag. 28. Chandeliers are supposed to be the centerpiece of a room, but one buyer complained that hers was too sparkly when the sun hit it. She claimed the crystal reflections were creating a disco atmosphere in her dining room that she did not authorize. She wanted the store to come out and dull the crystals with a matte spray because the light was being too light-like. Why would you buy a $1,000 crystal light fixture if you are afraid of a little bit of shimmer? Some people really just want to live in a dark matte box. 29. The term smart furniture is becoming common, but one guy took it way too literally when he bought a smart coffee table with a built-in cooler. He filed a complaint because the table did not automatically order him more beer when the fridge ran low. He argued that for that price, the table should have its own Wi-Fi and a direct link to his grocery store account. Is it just me, or are we reaching a point where people expect their furniture to have a higher IQ than they do? Tell me what you think of this level of technological laziness. 30. Color perception is a wild thing, but this takes the cake. A customer ordered a velvet armchair in navy blue and had a total meltdown because it did not perfectly match her oceanic whisper curtains. She demanded the store send a professional painter to change her wall color for free since the chair was aggressively blue and ruined her zen. It is a chair, lady, not a full home renovation package. Some people really expect a $100 stool to come with a personal interior designer and a life coach. 31. A woman purchased a massive 6-foot beanbag chair and then filed a formal grievance because it did not have enough structural integrity. She was furious that when she sat down, the chair actually molded to her body instead of supporting her like a rigid wooden throne. She literally told the manager that the bag was lazy and lacked the discipline to stay upright. It is a bag of foam pellets, not a concrete pillar. Some people truly expect a sack of beans to have the backbone of a high-end Victorian armchair. 32. Imagine spending $3,000 on a navy blue velvet sofa, placing it in a glass-walled sunroom in the middle of a Texas summer, and then acting shocked when it turns lavender 6 months later. One customer actually accused the store of selling her a timed release dye that was programmed to fade so she would have to buy a new one. She refused to acknowledge that UV rays are basically nature's bleach. Do you think people genuinely forget that the sun exists? Or do they think luxury fabric is somehow immune to the laws of nature? 33. A guy bought a minimalist TV stand designed for a 50-inch screen and then tried to mount an 85-inch monster on it. When the stand inevitably tipped over and crushed his soundbar, he blamed the furniture for being intimidated by his electronics. He actually argued that the stand should have had a warning label saying it was not compatible with his alpha male home theater setup. It is a piece of particle board, sir, not a weightlifting champion. Sometimes the lack of basic spatial awareness in grown adults is truly staggering. 34. Cedar-lined chests are famous for their distinct, pleasant aroma that keeps moths away. But one customer found the smell to be an offensive assault on her senses. She demanded a full refund because her blankets now smelled like a forest, and she claimed she was allergic to the concept of the outdoors. She was outraged that the store did not offer a scentless cedar option. If you want a box that smells like absolutely nothing, maybe stick to plastic bins from a big box store instead of buying premium aromatic timber. 35. Bar stools are generally meant for bars, but one customer bought 4 of them for her standard height dining table and then complained that she felt like a giant looming over her family. She accused the store of selling her furniture that was too ambitious and demanded they send a carpenter to saw 4 inches off the legs for free. When the store refused, she claimed they were height-shaming her for being 5'2". Is it just me, or should people have to pass a basic measurement test before they are allowed to buy anything with legs? 36. A man bought an expensive silk rug for his polished marble foyer, skipped the rug pad to save $20, and then threatened a lawsuit when he slipped and drifted across the room like a Fast and Furious extra. He claimed the rug was intentionally lubricated by the manufacturer to cause household accidents. He actually wanted the store to pay for a traction specialist to come out and roughen up the bottom of the silk. The level of mental gymnastics people perform to avoid admitting they were just being cheap is a professional sport. 37. Glass dining tables are sleek and modern, but they also show every single smudge. One woman called the store every morning for a week to complain that she could see her own fingerprints on the surface after she touched it. She insisted the glass was defective because it did not have anti-touch technology. She was genuinely offended that she had to use Windex on a transparent surface. Honestly, what do you even say to someone who is surprised that glass shows grease? Let me know in the comments if you have ever dealt with someone this disconnected from reality. 38. A very short woman bought a standard executive desk and then filed a complaint for workplace discrimination because her feet dangled off her chair. She insisted the desk was built by a giant for other giants and demanded the store provide her with a custom-built mahogany footrest at no extra charge. She argued that the store was responsible for her physical comfort regardless of her own height. It is a desk, not a medical device, but some people really expect the retail world to be their personal tailor. 39. Assembly stress is a real thing, but this guy took it to the Supreme Court level of crazy. After failing to build a simple bookshelf for 5 hours, he demanded the store pay for his marriage counseling because he and his wife got into a screaming match over a hex key. He claimed the confusing instructions were a deliberate attempt to destroy American families. Do you think furniture companies should start including a divorce lawyer's business card in every box, or should people just learn how to read a diagram? 40. One customer returned a high-end leather recliner because she claimed the chair was too loud when it opened. She described the sound of the reclining mechanism as a mechanical roar that was traumatizing her cat. The manager tested it and found it made a standard, quiet clicking sound. The customer then admitted she wanted a chair that operated via telepathy so she would not have to push a button. Some people have so few problems in their lives that the sound of a spring moving is enough to trigger a full-scale emotional crisis. 41. A guy bought a designer floor lamp with a drum shade and then returned it because it cast a shadow on the ceiling. He claimed the lamp was biased against darkness and demanded a bulb that could project light in a perfect 360-degree sphere with no hardware visible. He literally argued that the shadow was a design flaw intended to make him feel depressed during the winter months. Some people really want to live inside a glowing sun and are personally offended by the basic, unchangeable properties of opaque materials. 42. A man returned a luxury pillow-top mattress because he claimed the added height gave him altitude sickness. He was dead serious. He said sleeping an extra 4 inches off the ground made him feel lightheaded and nauseous every morning. He did not want a thinner mattress. He wanted the store to pay for an oxygen tank or a custom-built step stool to help him acclimate to his new bedroom elevation. Sometimes you realize that no matter how much you train retail staff, nothing can prepare them for a customer who thinks they are scaling Mount Everest just by going to bed. 43. This is a classic example of human delusion in the wild. A man bought a tiny, delicate bedside nightstand and then tried to sue the store when his 75-inch plasma TV snapped the legs like toothpicks. He claimed the salesperson should have warned him that a 15-pound piece of pine was not engineered to hold a massive home theater system. He actually called the furniture weak and cowardly for not supporting his lifestyle. Sometimes you have to wonder if people just leave their common sense in the car before they walk into a showroom. 44. Returning a mattress is common, but one woman tried to do it because she broke up with her boyfriend and claimed the bed now held negative relationship energy. She wanted a full refund because the mattress was a witness to her heartbreak and was technically an emotional burden. She insisted the store comfort guarantee should cover spiritual cleansing and bad breakups. Do you think a store should be responsible for the vibes of your personal life? Or is this the absolute peak of the customer is always right mentality? 45. A customer bought a massive wall-sized mirror to make her studio apartment feel larger, but she returned it a week later because it worked too well. She complained that the reflection made her feel like she was living in a crowded house with a stranger who looked exactly like her, and it was ruining her privacy. She actually asked if the store had a mirror that only reflected her furniture but not her own face. The level of existential crisis triggered by a simple piece of silvered glass is honestly impressive and a little bit sad. 46. Safety instructions exist for a reason, but one guy ignored the wall anchor kit for a tall dresser and then blamed the store when it tipped over. He pulled out all the drawers at once to use them as a makeshift ladder and was shocked when gravity took over. He claimed the furniture was top-heavy on purpose just to sell more anchor kits as a hidden upsell. He wanted the store to pay for his broken toe because the wood dared to obey the laws of physics. It is amazing how people will ignore a giant warning label and then act like victims. 47. One homeowner filed a complaint against a sofa bed manufacturer because the mattress was so high quality that his mother-in-law refused to leave after the holidays. He actually demanded the company reimburse him for the extra groceries she ate because the bed was too comfortable for a guest. He wanted a replacement mattress that was specifically designed to be slightly uncomfortable after 48 hours. Have you ever had a piece of furniture that was so good it actually became a social liability for you? Tell me about your most comfortable regrets in the comments. 48. A customer bought a trendy, Japanese-inspired low coffee table and then returned it because it was too close to the floor. She claimed she had to bend down to put her drink on it and that the store should have told her it was a floor-level item. When the manager pointed out the name of the product was the Sub-Zero floor table, she said she thought that was just a cool brand name and not a literal description. Sometimes reading the actual product title is just too much work for the modern shopper. 49. We all know furniture can make noise, but one guy returned a premium king-sized bed claiming it was possessed by a poltergeist. Every time he shifted, the frame emitted a tiny squeak, which he interpreted as the spirits of the forest screaming in agony. He did not want a technician. He wanted a full refund plus the cost of a spiritual cleansing for his bedroom. Do you think some people use ghosts just to get out of a no-refund policy, or is he actually losing it? Let me know in the comments if you have ever lived with a haunted nightstand. 50. Imagine buying a massive leather sectional and then calling the store screaming because it will not fit through your tiny apartment door. One lady actually demanded the store pay for a contractor to remove her entire front wall because the salesperson should have known her hallway was narrow just by looking at her. She insisted the furniture should have been made of collapsible wood for delivery purposes. Seriously, since when did kiln-dried maple become memory foam? Some people truly believe that physics is just a suggestion when they have a credit card in hand. 51. Wood is a natural material that reacts to humidity, but one guy was convinced his dining table was growing on purpose to push him out of his own house. During a particularly humid summer, the wood expanded slightly, and he called the store in a panic, claiming the table was encroaching on his personal space. He wanted a technician to come and sand down the edges every time the weather changed. It is hard to tell if he was joking or if he genuinely believed the furniture was staging a slow-motion invasion of his kitchen. Some people really struggle with the concept of basic science. 52. One guy tried to return a $1,200 mattress because he started having recurring dreams about his high school math teacher. He claimed the cooling gel technology overstimulated his brain and caused unwanted nocturnal adventures. He did not want a different model. He wanted a full refund and a signed statement that the company was not experimenting on his subconscious. People will really blame a pile of memory foam for their own internal weirdness. If a bed could actually control your dreams, it would cost a lot more and come with a monthly subscription fee. 53. A woman bought a dining table that seated 12 people, but tried to return it months later because it made her room look empty since she only had 2 friends. She blamed the store for selling her an anti-social table and demanded a refund for the emotional toll of feeling lonely at dinner. She argued the salesperson should have interviewed her about her social life before allowing the purchase. It is a table, lady, not a replacement for a personality. Do you think salespeople should start acting as amateur therapists for lonely shoppers? 54. A customer filed a formal complaint because her diamond ring vanished while she was sitting in her new recliner. She was convinced the chair had a hidden trapdoor designed by the manufacturer to steal jewelry from owners. When a technician found the ring stuck in the mechanical hinge, she still refused to apologize, claiming the chair tricked her into dropping it. This level of paranoia is a testament to how creative people get when they lose their belongings. Do you think people actually believe these conspiracies, or is it just a play for a free cleaning? 55. We have the man who bought a cozy burgundy sofa in December and tried to return it in July because it looked too heavy for the summer. He argued that the sofa should have a reversible skin that changes textures based on the thermostat settings. He called the store a fraud for selling him winter-only furniture without a disclaimer. You have to wonder if some people think furniture is a living organism that should adapt to their every whim. Retail workers truly deserve a medal for not losing their minds on a daily basis. From haunted mattresses to sofas that are apparently too blue, the world of furniture retail is a total circus. It is mind-boggling what people will say to get a refund or avoid admitting they just did not measure their own hallway. Which of these stories made you lose the most faith in humanity? If you have ever worked in retail and have a story that tops these, you absolutely have to drop it in the comments because we need to hear it. If you enjoyed this look into the peaks of entitlement, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.